Do I have a motion to announce the agenda?
I'll make a motion. I'll second.
Okay, is it approved and seconded? The agenda stands as written. We now have the the approval of the minutes, which we all got earlier and had a chance to send in changes or additions. Does anybody have anything further to add or change? I'd like to thank Donna for getting these to us very quickly.
They neither.
If not, do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion. I'll second.
Okay. And now we're moving on to the director's report.
First of all, in your packets, the items on the right side are identical to the commissioner packets I made for them. To tour the facility, we've had one commissioner come this evening to tour. And he was made aware of the type of space it takes for us to hold elections and to be able to get everything accurately and correctly done. I want to first recognize our county seal. It is amazing. Is presented to me yesterday from Kelsey and Dina Brown, and I'm just absolutely thrilled that it's there, and it looks amazing. It feels like it's on metal. Is it on metal? It felt like metal. It looks great.
That's right.
Thank y'all very much. We'll move forward. The NCAVE conference, it went well. We had a lot of sessions. We prepared for Senate Bill 382 with other counties and just listened to the things that they were going to implement, whether it was additional staff, additional equipment to go through provisional verifications, and because we've got to do so many things in 3 days as opposed to 10. So we had a new director, new staff roundtable conversation, had a bunch of questions that were answered and a lot of good ideas, precinct official management ideas. Donna was able to go to that session and learn many things. We were able to listen to testimonies from the directors in our western part of our state that had some very emotional testimonies about what happened with all of the flooding and all the different changes that occurred there. We took a tour of the Durham County Board of Elections office. It was awesome. It was awesome to say the least. They had everything there and it was a really good time. Our office assistant Pam did great while we were gone, got a lot done. Donna's planning a precinct official social to invite all of our precinct officials, party chairs, and our board members. This event is more of a confirmation of which precinct officials desire to stay with elections and also give the party chairs a chance to meet them and discuss future positions with our elections office. As we had discussed in the past, we wanted to make sure who was going to stay with us. And we want to be able to know this before Troy Fest. We are getting a table for the first time this year. And I want to know so I can be sure I talk to over and above what we need. Yes, sir.
Just want to interject there. I know you want to wait, try and get this done before Troy Fest, but they got to start getting some lists together pretty quick because
And that was the whole
those
reason.
lists will need to be to us so that we can approve in August.
Mhm.
We've got it scheduled for May the 1st,
Okay.
from 5:30 to 7:30.
That's my next thing.
Yep.
So, yeah, I have on there that, so we'll know how many precinct officials are needed for the 2-year appointment coming up in August. And then, Donna's doing great getting all that together. Invitations went out Friday
Mhm.
and, got a couple, 1 or 2.
To
So far.
have RSVP'd.
Yes, so that's good.
If they're coming,
Yes, so good deal. Our county shred day is tomorrow, and due to the high volume of items we have, I would be glad to show you a tour in the basement. It's astronomical. It'll be coming to us. It'll park on Liberty Street and they will open the garage door and come in and get everything. And I have went last Friday, Kenneth and I pulled all of the retention time up items to be shredded, and we have reorganized what was left down there. It's a huge difference. And previously they were buried in the landfill.
I never have like that.
And so I like this option a whole lot better. I feel a lot better about it being done that way.
Doing it.
The county. The county has a shred truck come once or twice a year.
Is it
It's a shred company,
private
I'll
company?
shred it.
a shred?
Yeah.
It's shred, okay. That's what I was wondering, is it somebody else, you know, like they're doing it, or they hired somebody to
They're
come
the
do it?
private company.
Yeah,
Yeah.
shredded,
Yeah.
I've used shredded.
Yeah, we use them in Stanley, so
Yeah.
I was familiar with that. I've reached out to the municipalities to confirm the cost of filing fees for their offices that will be on the ballot in November. I received from Candor, all offices will be $5. And as a part of a certification compliance with the state, this is another topic. I know I'm going a little bit fast.
That's okay.
A survey must be submitted certifying that the County Board of Elections Office has researched and removed all matching deceased voters between November the 4th of 2020 and November the 7th of 2024. As you can imagine, this is a daunting task and Donna is rolling with it. So I have to keep making her get up every now and then to clear her head because it's a lot, to say the least. I had to call a gentleman yesterday that, there was some confusion there and it ended up being his twin brother that passed away in 2019. And so we were able to confirm that because with the evidence we had, that was not able to be confirmed, but we were able to take care of that. She's begun working on cleaning out the tubs and wiping them out, cleaning them out, repacking them for the precincts. We got a number ready to go. We do have one new candidate for sheriff. He has completed initial required candidate form so that he can move forward with his campaigning at events for the office of sheriff, but he will officially file in December. There are things he had to do in order to get started on those things. As you all know, I received a call from the Bisco Town Manager, Kevin Bone, on March 27th. He said there were a couple of town commissioners that had asked him to check with us to see if there was another location that could be used for an early voting site instead of the town hall. They are fine with us using the town hall for election day voting. If the voting location is changed permanently, we need to send notification 30 days before the election to those voters. And I have the general statute attached, but due to the cost of sending voter cards for the municipal election and again for the 26th primary election, this is just me. I recommend we use the Bisco Town Hall for municipal voting on election day for the municipals. And then during the municipal elections, we can use that day as an opportunity to let voters know of the change ahead. And this will give us more time to secure a new early voting site and election day site if the board chooses to go this route. Y'all know it's up to y'all. That's just my recommendation.
So they want one place for early voting and a different place for municipal.
The early voting, he let me know that it was bothersome and, that he said election day, it was not a problem. And I let him know my concern because I've been an election day official in Bisco myself since 2009 off and on. And it was one of the best places to work because
Yeah.
they took care of you. And I let him know I was very sorry that, he was unhappy with us being there and that I would speak with you all and let y'all know. He,
Just more days, time.
Because you're there for, you know, so many days and it just disrupts. Yeah.
yeah, he said the 3 weeks shutting down the, having us in there, he said the voters were wandering around the hallways. It was just a nightmare. And,
Do they have any suggestions of where to go?
He also said something about that the mayor's office was right outside of the
as you walk
voting
in, the
area.
voter stand,
And
it's
he-
always been there.
but it's always been there. And he thought that that might be
Conflict of
a
interest.
conflict that they're passing by the person that might be voting on kind of thing. Even though he's not in there electioneering, he's not in there campaigning, he's in there working.
Well, it's not like the voters had to walk a long way to get to where they were voting. It was
Right.
very.
It's
short
always
stay.
been there. He also, finally, I called him again and he mentioned that there was arguments amongst the precinct officials.
That's
And
what
he
I
said
thought.
that does not look good.
Yeah. And read,
Find out all of a sudden is there an issue?
yeah, there was,
There was an issue that we were called and me and Teddy and Rhonda went up there to address an issue. And they closed the door to discuss it with the group. There
they
were voters,
closed voting.
Mhm.
voters were backed up in the hallway, which I thought was just really
So
called for.
that will not happen again.
Mm-mm. And that was Rhonda that closed that voting.
Yes.
For about 10 minutes.
Yes.
And people were backed up.
And the
So that
voters were
bothers-
upset. They kept knocking on the door trying to get in and vote because it was their lunch period.
Okay.
So that, can we assure him that that was a one-time incident and
That the people that were arguing would not be back over there again
right,
for
and
early
we'll
voting.
put them there again.
Let's move on and we'll discuss this at a later date
Yeah,
as we get to what we need to
right.
deal with there.
And that's what I have as a suggestion. I've got the cost for mailing out the cards just so you'll know. And then at the bottom, I put this can be discussed further at the May 13th board if the board.
Yeah, well, it's not gonna affect this municipal election.
Not really, no.
It's not gonna affect it at all because we're not gonna have it as a one stop.
Right.
Mhm.
And that's what I let him know. And he was glad. He said, well, good, that gives you more time to find another
Yeah.
site.
We got over a year to do.
Yes.
You know, I mean, basically that.
Well,
March of next year is
there's a
the
lot
next
to do.
primary.
Yes.
So,
There was a biennial card return issue. The cards returned past the 30-day deadline, resulting in inactive status for the voters. They have to be returned in a timely manner. So we researched, and when we looked at the postmark and the delivery dates, it was not the voter's fault. I reached out to the state board and they instructed me to change the status of that voter to active because it's not their fault, like I said. I also went and visited the post office. I met and spoke with the postmaster and explained the process to him, letting him know that it was a big deal, that we need to receive, when you receive these cards, we need to receive these cards. And he understood. He said he would talk to his workers and that should not happen again. And then there's your report.
Thank you very much. On to old business. Budget finalization and approval.
have it,
Yes.
That,
Each one.
already
you have a
sent
big-
that out to us.
Yeah, but if I've made any changes, they're on there. If you have any questions, I got answers. Just let me know what the questions are.
We appreciate being able to see the budget ahead of time and having input on it.
You're welcome.
Ms. Rosa.
It's where Tammy died.
so have you made any changes since the last spreadsheet you sent us?
Maybe postage, because I was thinking if we do change the polling site, that is the reason for having the amount of the postage on the director's report you have. So you would know, I've got it at 5,000. In the same example year in 23, the actual amount spent was 3165.66. So I thought 5,000 would be an appropriate adjustment to be able to cover those mailings. We might have a little bit extra, but it's better to have extra than to be short. I'm trying really hard to spend what I budgeted for each line. I'm not sure if that's the way everybody does that, but that's what makes sense to me.
Yeah.
I did speak with IT about purchasing a laptop for us to be able to assist an extra person. Those 3 days, we have to get all the provisionals verified and things. And IT let me know they've already purchased us one and they're building it now. It does not have to come out of my budget. If I want another one, it would come out of my budget, but that's in the process. So that's good news.
Based off of my review of what you've got and what I've seen before already, I'll make a motion to approve this budget to send it on.
Yes,
Get the answer to it, because I had asked about the, like utilities. Did we ever get an answer on that?
Yes, ma'am. The utilities are handled through another budget. Kevin's budget handles utilities. I do not see a power bill or a water bill.
And it does not come out of our budget.
Yes.
It doesn't
No, it
come out
does
of our
not.
budget.
No, ma'am, it does not come out of our budget. Any computer, I have it written here, IT's budget covers professional licensing. If you look in the notes, after my phone call with the county that went line by line, so I would get exactly what each line was, I typed that in there. And, repairs, maintenance, building / land, Kevin's budget will cover that if you can just skim through there and see that. But a power bill, Ms. Tasha does not come out of my budget. It blows my mind, but, I'm glad to hear that.
You don't get the deal, but you still eventually have to do reimbursements.
Yes, ma'am.
I-
You're welcome.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, you made the motion.
Yep.
We have a second?
Second.
It is approved to, send that on.
I think I have to meet with Frankie. It's due Friday.
Yeah.
But I think he lets the directors know when to meet with him. Did everyone get copies of these?
Yes.
This is the breakdown of the number of precinct officials for the municipal, the primary, and our possible second primary, and the cost that would be to our budget line. And also the precinct officials and then the part-time assistants and the, rover. I'm interested in implementing to assist with, machine questions and things like that. Just something you can look over. I just wanted y'all to be aware of that.
I also like the information you gave us on each of the precincts and the map and the total voters, and that's very effective.
It's great to be able to see the map of the county with the numbers in each precinct. It gives
Yeah.
you more of a visual, to help things work.
Any other questions about that? Moving on to public comment. Do we have anybody who signed up to speak?
No, we had the paper put out late, but there is a sign up if anybody's interested in signing up to speak.
Would anybody like to speak now? Thank you. New business. We have one more voter registration that is currently serving a felony sentence.
This is one that, I verified, but I don't like to bring this before you unless I'm absolutely certain. And, I was able to call probation and parole to verify that this person is serving a felony sentence.
You know approximately how many we have currently that are actively serving? Temporarily can't vote?
What do you mean? I have, what do you mean? That are felons that are, I have one that's awaiting I think it's April the 22nd. They will be, because the letter's gone out and they have those many days to, let us know that they're not. And, that's the 22nd when they will be made
Do you have
removed.
any idea how many we have kind of out there in limbo waiting to get?
I do a report. And then this is where this comes from, is we check the registrations as they come into our office. Every registrant, we check the felon system. And then, the other one would be, the felon, that I realize they're already on the books, and then I send out that felon letter. So right now, we're up to date
Great.
on everything. And when I do the report Friday, there could be a couple or none. So
You have to get a notice or something from the state. I know it used to print out. 3 or 4 clerks used to get it. I used to take it across there, but then I think they went and just sending it for sale.
I don't know.
Is that the felon completed, report that you received? We do have from the
Yes.
state, the felon completed report. And then we have where we, get those applications for voter registrations and we go into the DOC's, website to verify their current status. If they are, if they've been removed, they're removed. And, when they finish their sentence, probation, the prison, whoever, should inform them. I don't know if they do, but they should inform them that your rights can now be reinstated and then they can come and reapply. So there's no limbo in terms of we've got you on hold because you're actively serving the felony, you're removed, you can't.
So they have to act.
So they would have to come and reapply.
Once
with
they,
the registration.
well, yes, once they've been, they get everything complete on, with the court system. They are responsible for re-registering.
Right.
Now, whether the probation department or corrections tells them all this, I don't know.
That's up to that
That-
individual officer.
Exactly.
And it will not be on the notice they get from the state, even though I might have complained about it for 20 years.
Yeah, kind of surprised.
That's where it goes back to what I've said for quite a few years of the voter needs to take responsibility for some of their own.
Mhm.
You know, we can't constantly spoon feed.
And they don't know that they can. We went over that last time because a lot of people don't. It's the lingo that's used when they lose it. They're under the impression that they can never again.
Mhm.
So I get responsibility wise, but if you don't know, you don't know.
Right.
If you don't know.
Well, the letter they send out is kind of confusing because it says it's a right to be restored, but it does not tell them you physically need to
That
go.
they can
Right.
actually re-register.
Right.
Because I registered someone a few years back who hadn't been registered in 15 years because he thought that he absolutely could not. He'd been out 15 years. And we did a voter registration drive and he was like, oh, I can't. And that's how the subject came up. So a lot of people are under the impression, like Debbie said, because of the language that's used in the letters that they never can do it again. So if Kim is sending out those letters when they get their report, kudos to you, Kim
Thank you, ma'am.
and Donna.
Thank you.
So I'll make a motion to deny this registration.
I'll second.
Hey, it is a quick one to be denied.
And the last item of new business is our informative tour of our Board of Elections office.
Would you like to explain that each had one person come through and give you this report?
Yeah, I had one commissioner come through and got the tour, and hopefully the rest will trickle in and I can give them the complete tour. And that commissioner was surprised at the room we need. And like I said, the retention supplied in my retention area was gone through, and the amount of shredding material is huge downstairs. And when you compare it to, I've got the wall organized for my next shredding in 25, the next one in 26, the next one in 27. Of course, the one in 26 is the presidential. It's bigger, but it's about a third of what's to be shredded, which lets you know there's a lot that we're not shredded. We're not taken care of. So that will be taken care of tomorrow.
And we had learned that we can now shred the unvoted ballots, and they had been held on until the others could be disposed of. But Kim was able to learn that those can go ahead and be gone, so that saves some space.
The retention time on those are 2 months
At 2 months instead of the 2 years.
and 5 years for registrations or batches. So we've gotten all those organized and taken care of.
If anybody else wants to come for a tour, like the precinct up where I am, they've said that they would like to come and have a tour.
Just show up.
Do you prefer to do it like during board meeting or?
No, they can just come.
Okay.
Like Steve had somewhere else to be, and I went ahead and took him. Jeannie Blake came by. I gave her a tour, and she was, her eyes were open to what we need.
He
and
was
what
very
we-
impressed.
what organization is key, and anyway, it was really good to be able to show them what we have.
Yeah.
And I like the packets that the commissioners, hopefully they'll all come and can get and be able to look at those.
And have you given Tammy an official?
I have not. I
think that would be a good
I
idea.
think that would. It's too late to get in the paper this week.
Yes, it's good when we have good press coverage.
Mhm.
All right, any other comments about that? Anything else that someone would like to bring before the board? If not, we are ready to adjourn. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to adjourn. I'll second.
5:55.
Thank you very much.
Three.
Yes, ma'am.
Tasha, enjoy your conference.